Joey J. Pink checking in, man. RespectMyRegion.com. We back on another episode of the New Jersey Cannabis Podcast. Today is episode number 4, and we have a very wonderful sponsor and a very wonderful special guest. The episode is sponsored by Trees.io, Cannabis ERP, e-commerce, data, point of sales, analytics, white glove customer support. And today's special guest, we have Jon Bond, Chief Revenue Officer of Illicit Brands, because it is no longer just the garden, as you guys have retail and some products that are not just from the garden. And now, you guys expanded to New Jersey and New York, so you know we had to throw you on the New Jersey podcast, man. How you living today, Jon? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, Joey. It's good to see you, man.
Bro, I can't believe I'm going to see you tomorrow night.
Yeah. I'll see you at Hall Flowers, bro.
It's so cool.
I would normally say like it'll be better weather in California, but it's actually like a nice, like sunny 75-degree day here in Kansas City, bro. So,
dude, it is beautiful here, but this time of year it is classically one type of weather and then quickly the next for some reason. And spring is in full effect, but it is a sunny 70-degree day here in Los Angeles.
Hey, man, I'm excited to get in the sunshine and see my friends, man. 100%.
Dude, there's some friends here from Massachusetts that are over in Long Beach right now that I'm going to go see. Shout out Devin Alexander, Rolling Relief out of Mass. He's here right now. You're coming out. This Hall of Flowers has said 1,100 plus retailers signed up. We're talking over 350 brands with booths and activations. Jon, this is going to be the second biggest Hall of Flowers to date, arguably the biggest, depending on how big the Santa Rosa one is next time. But this time around, I've never seen HOF flaunt these numbers, this many people. It's never had this much hype right now. The markets are tough, but Cali brands are expanding out of here, and so they switched some things up. We've got an Access Lounge. Seth Yakutan's rocking with them on that. We've got the Blueprint, which is for manufacturers. Guests like you are coming from all across the country to figure out what brands, how can we expand, what kind of creativity can we do. Maybe we are inspired to make a new product that we didn't even think about yet, right?
Who knows, man?
So much that we're going to be able to discuss and go over, but that's all here. That's all other stuff. This episode's about your New Jersey launch. So from the Midwest to the Northeast, Illicit Brands. I almost said Gardens.
Yeah, it's still Gardens too. Brands. So I'll explain it later.
You guys are scaling to these other areas. You've got products available across the state in Jersey. New York just hit. Talk to me, Jon. What's the word with Illicit? What's the latest with New Jersey?
Yeah, man. We're really excited. We've been in New Jersey for almost a year now. We shipped our first orders actually right before 420 of last year. And for those unfamiliar, we have 7 dispensaries, soon to be 8, cultivation, manufacturing, vertical here in Missouri. We entered the market by way of one of the original ATC licenses. And so that came with a cultivation, manufacturing, and 3 dispensary licenses. So now we've been an entirely wholesale motion in New Jersey up to this point. We're in about like half the stores, which is great. We've been like, the Turner facility around, which you've been, we were lucky enough. We had some great team members that we were able to keep on from the former staff. And so we've been working to get our award-winning cannabis products out to the state of New Jersey. So it's gone pretty well, man. With limited resources and limited product availability, we've still been able to crack like the top 20 brands in the state in the first year we've been out there, man. So we're really excited and humbly excited to be a part of the New Jersey cannabis scene, man. It's been a lot of fun getting out into the New Jersey market with all of our SKUs over the last year, with the flower, the live resin, all of our edibles and different distillate products that we make too.
I was just going to ask, what's the lineup there? Because we were there in Missouri with you in November.
Yep.
And we saw the full facility. We saw the lineup. I met Blake and the whole team there. It was a wonderful experience. We did the whole hallway there with all of your awards. There was so much to see. Is all of that, has that been replicated to some extent with just New Jersey inputs there in?
Absolutely. So when we took over the facility, like I said, there was a lot of things. We just now are dropping our live like resin vapes, and then the live concentrates for dabs will be available in the next couple of weeks because we just got extraction going in our facility not even like a month ago. And the going through the process of getting all the approvals and everything that we need, getting the equipment up there. So now we're going to have our full suite. Up to this point, we've only had like flower, some of our classy SKUs, which is like our classy cards, classy all-in-one disposables, our gummies. We've got our sea salt caramels rocking up there, which are like,
nice.
One of the best. But like, me, man, I love our live stuff. And so I'm really excited. I think it really accentuates the flower really well. And so, being able to smell that jar animal style cookies flower and then, trying the vape and the vape tastes how the flower smells. That's a great, powerful experience for a customer. So long story short, man, we're really excited to be out there. We're in about half the stores in the market. We just made our first sales hire in New Jersey. And so hoping to be in the rest of the stores here pretty soon, man. Working on getting our flagship retail open in Secaucus this summer, which will be the first. So that store will be called Illicit Gardens. The reason why we're Illicit Brands now is because we have Illicit, the brand in Missouri, and then we have our dispensaries from the Earth, Missouri. Namesake only similar to the California. It's really our own thing here in Missouri. And then we've got Illicit, the brand in New Jersey, and Illicit Gardens is going to be the actual dispensaries that we have out there, which we're super excited about, man. So
that is sick because people love your brand, dude. People love it. Weed, guess what? It's been illegal. Weird. It's been illicit for a long time. Right. Illicit brands, illegal brands, now legal, right? I think it's so dope from it's just simple and clean standpoint. I got that hoodie you gave me with black on black. That shit's dope. As a Raiders fan, you know what I'm saying? I got the Raiders Hardin edition, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with that black on black just about in every way. You have the custom vape batteries with the case to keep it clean and to keep it from breaking. How cool and functional is that? At your guys' stores, at least in Missouri, you guys have so much from the earth. Merchandise.
Yeah.
So many different colorways and hats and beanies, and I think I remember socks too.
Oh yeah, bro. That's been a huge part of like, we're weed people, man. And like in New Jersey, the first year was every other week me driving up and down the turnpike with t-shirts and lanyards and like, these first orders, like so many brands think that just because you've done something before that you don't have to do it again. The work still doesn't change. Like the bud tenders, and coming out for the people and making sure that like you're there to answer questions for the staff after they've tried the samples, after they've been communicating with customers about your product. You can't fake that type of effort and energy. And I know for us, it's really important that we're like really supportive of our retail partners in that way. So like we're building out the events team. We've got like 6 brand ambassadors now in New Jersey that we're doing pop-up events, both at dispensaries and like events around New Jersey. Cause dude, I mean, cannabis is a community, you know what I mean? So
100%.
And it's like, and so it's funny, like, I think the reason we sell so much merch is because we give so much of it away, which is funny. Because
you say the reason you sell so much merch is because you end up giving it out there. Yeah, people want the rest of the outfit, right? They want to match. They want to give it for their friends. Someone else wants it.
We're proud of our logo, man. We're proud of what our logo stands for, and we're proud of the people that work really hard to put these products out every day. And like I can tell you, it still doesn't get old to hear like, "Hey, Illicit," when you're walking down the street, especially out like in New Jersey, where most of us are from the Midwest. To be in another state where we have a business that is a locally owned and operated business there because we're traveling back and forth. We've got the team there locally, for having them to be able to feel that as well too, with people with their illicit stuff on, just meaning from our staff, right? That's a cool thing. So it's been great, man. We're really excited to keep the ball and we're expanding the facility in New Jersey as well too. So like I mentioned, we're in the process of laying a pad and expanding our ability to produce more products and like a greater variety of some of the SKUs that we have.
When you say laying the pad, is that new manufacturing facility or rebuilding?
Well, we're expanding the current building. So long story short, we moved into another facility that was adjacent from the licensed facility.
Nice.
License essentially. So
yeah.
We're up on like 140 acres in Jersey, Northwest Jersey, man. And we're
140 acres. Where the hell are you?
We use a very. I mean, I'm not going to say it on the call, but we use a small amount of that, right?
Well, naturally, but still, that's like the size of like some parks,
bro.
Right?
It's funny. It used to be I'm giving away a lot of where I grow. Point is, it's up in Northwest Jersey, kind of close to like the Pennsylvania like wooded area, right?
Cool.
Yeah. But
keep it secret, y'all. Y'all can't know too much. We don't trust you guys. We got to keep it at a high level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure.
We don't share all the details.
I'll tell you what. If anybody wants to find me and ask me, I'll tell them all day verbally, but not put it on the internet.
We're not putting it on the internet, folks. You're tripping. Yeah. Okay, so you're out there in the cuts, right? We're in the cuts.
Yep.
140 acres. You just move the license to another facility in the same space, basically.
Yeah. So long story short is there was a license that they had that we moved to this additional area that we now have the license. So like we've been all of our processes have been happening out of this building since we took over last February when the CRC announced us as the new licensee, which is the cannabis regulatory group for New Jersey. So. Yeah, man, it's been going great. Got about 50 employees up there and working on, like I said, expand the facility and getting these stores open so we can really kind of expand the potential brand that I mentioned earlier, but we just are launching in New York this month. So on with our white label partner out there, and we're launching some of our more popular SKUs in the New York market, which is great because it's right across, obviously, there's 20 million eyes in the tri-state area. So we're really excited about being up there.
Major opportunity, major expansion here, folks. Jon Bond tapping in with us, man. New Jersey Cannabis Podcast. I guess this is going to be like a New Jersey, New York combo wombo kind of episode because the Midwest journey is now over here, second and third states officially. I do remember last year, the New Jersey launch, you sharing that information, and but I also know that it's just been heads down, grinding it out, getting to life, building it. Not one to flex illicit brands until there's flexing to be had, and the domination exists, right?
Honestly, man, we let our customers do I think the biggest flex is that people keep buying our products, and so for us, it takes a lot of effort.
The sales numbers don't lie.
Yeah, for sure.
We talked about that last time. The numbers don't lie, folks. They're in the top 20 already in a year there in New Jersey. They just launched in New York. There's big things to come. There's a lot of the same products, obviously different inputs. The weed's got to come from New Jersey, or the weed's got to come from New York. Whatever state they're setting up to be in, the weed's got to come from there, you guys. So just something to think about. It's never absolutely identical, but they can get it very, very close just because each state.
To that point, we work really hard. We've staggered launching certain SKUs because we wanted to get them to the right place. We won't put our logo on something unless it meets our quality standards. And that's where it's that's why we're launching with we launched a few SKUs, and all of a sudden we finally got our live resin, our ability to do it. And there was a lot of things, like I said, we've learned in the last year, and I think it's made us stronger operators for sure. And we're really excited about, like I said, I can't harp enough on how great the team is and what an unbelievable team we have, and that team has continued to build. So couldn't be more excited about the future, man.
Man, I'm excited for you guys, and I'm excited for the patients. I'm excited for the customers in these states to have access to another brand that no matter what SKU they pick up from Illicit with that logo on it, they'll be able to trust the efficacy of that item. And I think that's
and I think the unique thing in New Jersey is we're one of the few that has a medical license as well. So those medical patients in New Jersey can pick up our medical products, which is great because that, as you know, cuts a lot of the tax stuff out of it. So
is that just a financial opportunity for them, or is it also opportunity, and last part of that, and both? The final question layer to that is that also increased potency? Because that's another element typically.
No, so the way New Jersey's regs are set up is that you can only buy 1 ounce per customer per day at the store on the recreational side, and the medical side is obviously a little bit different, but they don't. At least for now, it's there's limitations on what goes into each one. But the nice thing is it's primarily a tax break and quantity ability for those medical patients, which is cool, man. Because again, the medical markets was there long before the adult use one, and while we have products that appeal to both, it makes me excited to know that the medical patients win there for sure.
Will there be, or are there medical centric products for this ecosystem, or is it primarily adult use, mindset products that will go back and forth?
It's kind of both. I mean, there's definitely some great, they call them ATCs, alternative treatment centers, that existed before since 2013, right? Wow, and so there's some brands that hang around from back then, right? It's funny. It's one of the oldest legal medical programs in the state, which is
I didn't know that about
the country.
New Jersey at all.
Yeah, little fun facts, man, in the country. Yeah, so but there are some brands that are still hanging around there that I think do a great job too. I just think as in any shift, and I saw this in the cannabis tech days too, man, like things always shift towards adult use purchases just because the variety of people continue to, when you're demand planning as a cannabis company and the types of things you want to produce, there's not that many groups that can sell that many medical only products to still like keep the lights on and not have something else that adult use to support it.
No, that makes perfect sense. I mean, the companies or the brands or the people that were starting those things off in the beginning for the medical days, scaling that to whatever it was over time was so tumultuous, I would imagine.
But those are some of the warriors that we still see around, that we'll see some of those cats like tomorrow and next day, right? It's like those people can survive anything. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of getting the right opportunities in front of them, for sure.
Super interesting though, that market to be that old in terms of the medical stuff. How cool is that? Okay, so New Jersey, expanded facility, different operations. You just brought another sales rep. You guys are in already half of the stores there in the state. You're the CRO, so half of the stores in the state. What are some of the goals? What are you rocking on the team right now with to achieve over the next few months to chip away at the last half of those retailers?
A lot of it's being physically present. I think with our beefing up of the events team, and then also having our local New Jersey sales team member, Gerard, who's the man out there. I'm stoked to have him on the team. Being in front of more stores, selling less weed to more people, right? Because I'd way rather sell someone just enough weed that they can get through in a 30-day window versus oversell them product and have them stuck with something that's deteriorating in quality rapidly. And some people are just like, I want to sell you as much as I can. And that's just not a great business practice, especially when inventory space is limited and customer experience is largely reliant on the freshness of that product. So like, we would way rather sell smaller amount of products and more frequent orders to more operators, because we built this logistical funnel now over the last year that like, we can take 200 orders a month or we can take 400 orders a month. The operational strain on us will still be the same based on the sales funnel. So like now it's great because we can ask less of our customers in terms of working with us. Cause like, order minimums are a thing, right? Because you got to make it worth to send the van out. We can only physically send out so many vans in the day. Right. So at the end of the day, we back into where we know we want to be at. And we realize that like, if the customer is going to win on that, if we're the easiest to work with and the most organized, having great products on top of that there's no reason why you wouldn't want to carry our products. So continuing to get the rest of the market to know that that's how we are. And then fortunately, we've got about half the market that's worked with us for the last year. Everyone says they're going to be great, but then it's like, how quickly do they react to the first, you know what I mean? Or the first like, oh shit moment. And so making sure we've earned that with our current customer base and now getting ready to go earn that with the rest. And that's just something that's proven over time,
Consistency over time.
Everything.
Communication over time, right?
Yep. Over communication for sure. Because we know every retailer we work with, there's probably 30 other brands that are nowhere nearly as organized. Maybe not, right? We hope not. But like, we want to make sure that we're never like Illicit just can't get this figured out. We work very hard to be incredibly logistically sound there.
Yeah, no, I have experienced that numerous times as an account executive or sales rep in the industry, where it's just as the rep, you can do your best version of customer service. You can be on top of everything. But if it's not organized back in the office or back at the facility, everything just gets fucked from
it takes everybody on that team, wherever they're at in that process of the order flowing through, to just completely win their day and their job responsibilities. Because you got those responsibilities, I wouldn't say they're static, but like everybody knows what their role is in the team. And so making sure that we're supporting each other along the way, but staying focused on the stuff we need to is like mission critical. And so fortunately we've got like I said, an all-star team that's bought into that. And I think we've seen the results and like our ability to deliver on stuff for our customers.
And it's interesting because you've got so many different moving parts. The human element is one thing, the labor, the communication, the brand, the tone of the brand, the style of the brand, the culture, right? There's all those different moving parts, which are, hopefully leadership down, right? Figures a lot of SOP figures a lot of that out. Or Geese provides a barrier to let things flow. But then you start thinking about manufacturing all these different products, John, and it gets pretty overwhelming because you guys make a lot of different things, right? You got these departments. You've got like the edibles department, and then you've got like vapes and manufacturing there, and then you've got like packaging and metric stuff. The flour, like you can't just forget the fact that you guys grow a ton of flour. Is that in New Jersey, you guys are growing a lot of flour up there too? You guys are doing all your own stuff or what?
Yeah, we've kind of figured out, and this is through, we do a lot of like data driven. We don't make any changes in our business unless they're data driven, right? And so we look at like sell through and who's picking up what and how quickly it's selling. Fortunately, we have tools, that we can use like headset and those to be able to like see what that velocity is and see, when you only have 10 liters of oil, I'm just using it as a round number, right? Where you put that 10 liters of oil is super important relative to like what you sell and how quickly you sell it. And so
1,000%.
if we're making a bunch of gummies, which we sell a lot of gummies, but let's say we didn't sell a lot of gummies and we were just making nothing but gummies with that oil, that could have been allocated somewhere else. Same thing with flour, right? We've determined that like we'll have 15 strains on the menu at any given time because we like to have that variety, and we have very high standards of what types of products we like to have on there. We've shifted to where like 80% of our monthly weight is going to be like these 6 to 8 bangers that people like, we can never have enough of no matter what, but we still want to have that varieties for people to build out a menu, because we can't just like have too few SKUs. So like we have over 100 SKUs varieties for our Missouri business. In New Jersey, we're getting there, but I think we've learned a lot too along the way. And like, so for example, with infused stuff, right? We do like blends on like stuff because it's all flour, right? And we use THCA diamonds, and it's easier from like packaging approval and all this stuff to like keep it consistent there. Whereas like it all starts in the grow, and then everything beyond that, like all of our live resin is strain specific. So like we love like the Dog Lemons vapes are the same as the Dog Lemons flour. They're made with Dog Lemons flour, right? And again, I think creating that cross product journey for the customer helps. Gets people to stop buying weed just based on THC. Don't get me wrong. Like we have strains that test high 20s, low 30s all day, every day. But to find those strains that grow well in your offense and like not have them be problematic at scale, like some of the best weed I've ever tasted or smoked was like testing at 24% with like an unbelievable terpene profile. And like, I couldn't talk for like 2 hours. Right. I couldn't talk. Right. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, but helping the customers get down that road, dude, like, without like being able to be there to have the conversation with every single customer that walks into a dispensary that says, what's your cheapest weed for the highest testing? We're never going to be the cheapest. We'll be one of the highest testing, but our goal is like show people like why, yes, beyond the terpenes and THC tests that you see on the COA, this weed is grown thoughtfully and tastes great, great effect. And it's got products that you can enjoy because that Dog Lemons hit you just the right way with the same relative terpene percentage in the pens. You're going to probably feel the same way just from the vape,
And like, also too, people, it's important to also understand that different products don't have high THC.
Right.
Like the adult use legal limit for edibles is typically 10 milligrams per single serving, or 100 milligrams for 10 of them. That could be in a bar form where it's cut with edges, right?
Yep.
Typically, not saying for everyone, but typically. Or it can be, in the tincture or like a beverage 100 milligram, but it's got to have the dosing for the, for the single servings. And so those are just, it's either 10 or 100. But you think about like how much weed is in a blunt, or how much weed is in a hash hole, or how much weed is in a dab that you just scoop out of a jar with a little knife thingy. Like, it's hard to measure how much that is each time, right? And so, when you guys are, making these products and you're thinking, okay, I want them to be consistent. I want a consistent experience every time. There's only so many variables you can ultimately control. Quality of the flower being one of them.
Probably the biggest. It's honestly with anything live, that's the biggest.
Yeah, right. And then, but also too, relativity. Like the extraction process, which is the post-processing of said flower, is super important. The dry, the cure, the trim, depending on those things. But then when we talk about fresh frozen for live products, these Dog Lemons, for you guys to hit those high terpene numbers, which is ideal for that style product, right? Like I love live resin that's 64 to 75% THC, even 55% THC, but the terpenes are between 7 and 20. You know what I mean? Which can happen with extracts, right?
It totally can. And I think, and your point too, and I think this is like an important one that we always like hang our hat on, is like the relative amount of those different like for example, you got that dog lemons flower, say that's limonene, beta caryophyllene, and whatever, right? Let's say those two. And let's say those are in like a 2-to-1 ratio, relatively speaking, to one another.
Yeah.
When
8%
we reintroduce,
and 4%.
right. So when we reintroduce those terpenes to the same live concentrate that we've extracted from that plant, we still introduce it in that same 2-to-1 ratio and format, because then it tastes and has the same effects as that flower would for you in your endocannabinoid system. You know what I mean? And I think that's a little detail, dude, but like some, you've had those vapes where like you get the terp burn and it's just like, oh, like your nose is just like you're sneezing and shit. We're pretty defined on that, and I think that's like a big part to why it makes it great for the customer.
For New Jersey, are there any products there, specific strains, either in flower or extract, that you are super hyped on, or that you were super impressed with, or that you have your sales team maybe leading with as the bangers, or what are your thoughts in that road? You got a starting 5 if you can think of them.
So it's funny, our same starting 5 there are the same starting 5 here, because we just now finally got our genetics cracking and at scale there. So like,
let's go.
Yeah, Kingdom Kush. It's like you saw some Kingdom Kush in our facility out here. Is great. One of my favorites, Chem Butter, is that kind of gassier, cheesy sativa, which is great. And like those, but like in terms of products, like I said, I just can't speak highly enough about our live resin, because I think it just supports our flower so well. And so that's like, especially with having that out, like we're excited to get that out into the market. Our flower, we're going to continue to get to scale. We've got some new cuts here in Missouri that we're going to be Soy 420. It's another one you'll be hearing about here. It's like probably some of the best looking weed I've ever seen. I feel like I say that like once every like 3 or 4 months with like one of our new cuts. I'm like, this looks amazing. So
let's go.
So, yeah, dude. So I mean, I think, and also like we've gotten pretty consistent with the hardware of these vapes now. So now it's like with the higher temp ones, like when I say higher temp, like 3.2 for distillate vapes and like 2.5 on the live ones, in terms of voltage. We want to make sure that like now that that's good and they've got the USB-C, we know they work, because hardware is like kind of hit or miss sometimes, right?
Hardware holds its own rightful value in the supply chain in terms of priority of importance, right?
Yep. 100%.
It can fuck your shit all the way up if you have the wrong thing set at the wrong temperatures for vapes, right?
Yep.
Or the wrong type of weed in the wrong type of cone or blunt or whatever it is. All of that matters.
And the worst thing about hardware not working is that no one ever knows that like that's not illicit made hardware. I mean, they do. Most people know that, but like in terms of the customer's mind, they're like, that illicit hardware sucked. I'm never buying it again.
Yeah. That's their battery. It had their logo.
Yep, totally. So yeah, and then honestly, our infused product lines, we're doing it under a second brand in Missouri, Space Cadet, and then we're doing it under our Illicit brand in New Jersey. But that's both distillate, live, water hash, and live resin infused pre-rolls in those Smokos tins that you saw with the cassette tapes that are like always our best selling SKU. Just all us 80s kids love the cassette tapes, and we get a lot of compliments on them, so we keep rolling with it. But and then the infused ready to roll too. There's not a lot of people doing infused ready to roll, and we're making it same thing, live resin, THCA diamonds, water hash as well too. So
that's a dope SKU. There is a group here at Claiborne that had I think it was just
I know those guys.
Shout out to Claiborne. And it was funny too, because I bought one of those Claiborne packs a couple years ago, and because I could trust that it broken down would be fire, because I knew what the flower was in regular form, and it was a strain of flower that I liked, and it had the keef from the same flower.
Yeah.
To sit there and have an orange gassy flower with this orangey keef was so dope, to be able to just have that pouch ready to go anywhere. You're telling me that you guys have 3 different extracts in the same? Are they all in the same kit, or are they?
No, different
with each extract.
3 different types. So it's basically like a.
That's so dope, though. More options. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, and look, here's the thing. Like, we're lucky enough, and this is where it's great having the full vertical, meaning like the cultivation, manufacturing, and then obviously we got our retails to sell them through. We can try out new stuff whenever we want to and see how it sells, see how we like it, see how people like it. And then if we see it does well, then we really ramp it up because we have all the inputs. It really just becomes a math problem, you know? So it's like, we were like, damn, we've got this like leftover ready to roll that like, you know, it sells okay, but like, what if we infuse it? It's selling better. Okay, we're going to sell it as infused ready to roll now because we had the, you know, whatever to be able to put it into it. So
everybody always talks about wanting their hash hole kits or the roll your own this or whatever. It's dope to see that you guys are bringing that to life within an infused product versus just having something ready to roll. Infused does add a doper element to it, especially knowing that like if I wanted to get a gift for somebody that was a rosin head, that could be an option in the future. If I wanted to get someone that was really big on the terps or wanted to get, you know, love just diamonds, everything, you know, stereotypically, I'd love to get an infused diamond pack for like any girl homie of mine. For you know what I mean. I think that's here. Have this here. Go smoke some diamonds. I know you love diamonds.
I mean, I'll tell you what. Like our goal is always to have like if you consume cannabis in any fashion, you smoke weed in any way, or like gummies, whatever. We want you to be able to look at our menu and be like, "There's something on there for me," right? Whether it's you know the flower, the live stuff, the infused pre-rolls, the solventless stuff that we do here in Missouri with the Monopoly Melt stuff, like all of that, man. So it's like weed for everybody. You know what I mean? Like we really want to touch anybody in that, you know, customer demographic. We're trying to have something that hits at least someone in each one.
How much time are you spending in Missouri versus New Jersey? Are you bouncing between Jersey and New York and the East Coast in the middle, or what's that like for you as you guys are going to spend more time there in those states and building the brand?
So the last year, it's been pretty much 50-50 time split for me. Like I've literally spent half my time on the East Coast, much to the thank you and support of my amazing wife, who is expecting our first child this summer. So
let's go. Congrats, big dog.
Thank you, man. But you know, it's ideally as we continue to build the team, I'm still always going to be out there quite a bit, at least once a month, right? But now that we've started to expand the team, I don't need to be out there every other week like I needed to be in the initial parts and initial phases. Also because we have a ton of things happening here in Missouri too. So, you know, we're always going to be out there a lot because, you know, we have a business out there and this is something that we take seriously in being part of the local culture and the local community. And so like our team platoons pretty heavily back and forth between the East Coast. Because the other thing too is like, you know, we want our East Coast team to feel like they're as much a part of the Midwest team and vice versa. It's all one team to us. You know what I mean? So like, it's really exciting to be able to like, you know, bring that together and continue to drive that forward, especially as we grow.
You know, building a brand, consistency over communication, right? Creating a culture, right? Building opportunities, being aligned in the same mission, growing and expansion. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like I said, a lot of moving parts go into this rise and the grind that is Illicit Brands and what you guys are doing. Are you guys going to have retail there in New Jersey as well?
Yeah, like I said, we have
the Illicit Brands ones, correct?
Yeah, so Illicit Gardens will be our stores.
Cool.
And then we've got some others that we're helping support as well too. So we're really excited about the getting that flagship and Sea Caucus open this summer. That'll be that's going to be a big. That's a super populated area. It's like adjacent to like Newark and you know, New York City, Manhattan's right there. So we're really excited about getting that open.
It's gonna be dope, man. I'm excited. Hey, for everybody watching, I appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. We're just about wrapped up, but we got about 5 minutes left. For now, though, we got to shout out our sponsor, Trees. Trees.io for more information. If you're a retailer interested in carrying illicit brands in these different states, be sure to reach out to me or Jon Bond. I'll be sure to tap you guys in case you guys are afraid of Jon, but I'll get you tapped in. Jon's one of the nicest guys. Just look at him, man. And he smokes fire weed. This guy knows good weed. He spent time all over the country visiting retail partners in a former life, trying cannabis, building relationships, figuring out solutions for people's problems, and ultimately just helping them grow. And I think all of that experience, all of that hustle is kind of culminating here with Illicit Gardens, Illicit Brands, and this national rise to being a top brand. I did recently put them, I think, in the top 15 for brands that are rising across the country. I did that because, one, I'm aware of what they're doing. Part of building a brand, everybody, is creating awareness for yourself. Part of doing the deed is networking and putting people that are figures in the space aware of it. I may not be the biggest figure, but I'm actively promoting retailers and helping connect patients or customers to just great options for cannabis across the country. This is what we do. That's our role. That's my role. And I just do it a lot. This episode, we're lucky if we're going to get 1,000 views, but that's 999 more than nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's 1,000 more than nobody watching. So for everybody,
Hey man, I can get on talking to my friends about weed all day, brother. And
come on, man. We got to let people know that these great products exist. We got to let them know about those strains and how they make people feel and how it helps, about the cities that you're opening dispensaries in, and so that way people can just have more options and more choices. We want to provide more access. It's about accessibility here. It's about affordability. It's about quality, consistency within these products. And the last part, which a lot of cannabis companies suck at, is communicating that they exist and doing it often and consistent and doing it the right way. And so we are here to help you all with that. Jon, I appreciate you for rocking with me on the RMR Podcast Network, doing what we got to do together with your time and our time and intros and all the shit to just be able to get the message out there to the people. You're willing to make sacrifices. The company's been willing to spend money on getting it out there. It is important. So we appreciate that greatly. Now, Jon, I don't remember if we asked this before. I just don't. But if you were going to throw a 3-day music festival there in New Jersey, and it was going to be the Illicit Brands, the Illicit Gardens, just the Illicit Festival, who are your 3 headliners and what products are you giving them from Illicit Brands?
Man, who are my 3 headliners? Whoa. Could have prepped me for that question before.
I mean, here's almost every episode.
So yeah, touche. And to say that I wasn't paying attention is probably a highly likely scenario. So, I would go different genres, right, for each of the days. Let's go 3 genres, right?
I
would say first day, gotta go like it's a Friday, it's a party day, EDM. You gotta have someone cool who's a great EDM. Am I old if I say Deadmau5? I used to love.
No, Deadmau5 still kills it. He's still crazy.
Yeah. Totally. So that type of vibe though on day one, right? Okay. Everyone's obviously feeling a little floaty from day one. Roll right into day 2 for a hot like reggae, like jam bandy day.
Yeah.
Either headlined by like an Incubus 311 type, kind of in that window. And then Sunday, you're feeling better. You come back and it's hip hop all day, bro. And you got to have some East Coast love, hip hop. There's so many great East Coast hip hop. I mean, shit, dude. I've seen Wu-Tang running around, bro. You get like 6 of the Wu-Tang clan there, and you're maybe even 5, dude. You could get like because Raekwon's got a dispensary in New Jersey, bro. It's fucking sick. I would definitely go hip hop day. Busta Rhymes, Wu-Tang, get that Empire style.
Get some of the biggest artists ever from out that way, man.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, man.
That sounds like a good time. I rock with that. Now, what products from Illicit would you give them?
Bro, just a smattering of as much as we legally could.
Well, obviously, legally.
Yeah. Hypothetically, bro, we'd load people up with flour, bro. People love, and then we have some great like grinders.
What's the strain? What's the
strains? Oh, bro, Kingdom Kush, Chem Butter, our GMO cookies is gas. Our lemon tree punch is super. I love that. Those lemon tree terps are amazing in there.
Yeah.
Clementine's really good.
That clementizzle.
Everything I just said, but in a live resin pen, and then loading people up with gummies and caramels and pre-rolls.
That's so yeah, man. I missed out on the caramels when we were there last time, so I look forward to seeing. You're gonna have to snag one of those on your way out here if you can. I'm gonna need one of those bad boys. I don't think I had one of those when we visited. Man, how cool is that? How cool would that be? The Illicit Festival in the future, man. With that kind of music, with that kind of gathering. Again, New York, New Jersey. We got Q1 is just about wrapped up. 2025 Q1 almost done. You just launched in New York. Hit us with the state of what's good in New York and what's to come.
Nothing, man. We're just the same exact approach in New York in terms of getting SKUs out there. We're launching with a few SKUs. We got a great partner out of Buffalo, so launching with some popular SKUs of ours at our classy carts, infused pre-rolls and gummies, and then we're gonna bring like the live and all the other stuff once we get there. But same strategy, man. be reliable, have great products, and show up and support the retailers and operators that are out there, because New York operators are fighting for their life against the bodegas down the street. You know what I mean? So it's like any way we can help those operators be successful, you know, and then you also got to get love from the streets and the legacy cats out there too, because it's a huge part of the legal market. So it's a really fun, unique way, I think, the way that like being working in weed should be. So we're really excited to go in and continue to be a part of, you know, what will be one of the biggest cannabis markets in the world.
New York coming in hot in a big way. That Heirloom brand out there, huge. Couple dispensaries there. I believe are top 5 in this country in terms of revenue, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
There's a lot of weed being smoked, a lot of gummies being eaten, a lot of vapes being ripped. All that the dab market there isn't great, but shout out to MFNY because what they do is great work. Out that way. Okay. But it's an exciting place to be, man. There's a lot of great culture there. The different regions, cities, boroughs, just the overall diversity. You know, anything can happen there in New York, right? And with you guys, what you guys do consistently. And having built what you've built, it should be an exciting journey for you guys. And I wish you, of course, nothing but the best on that journey and all the success, my friend, on that. Last thing before we get you out of here, Jon, I usually like to give people the floor to just talk about whatever they like. Some of the topics, you know, we've got, you know, maybe how the world is, the politics is affecting, you know, maybe the business, what people are seeing there. We've heard that as a trend. We've got, you know, we are approaching the playoffs in basketball. So just if you want to take it the full on, you know, March Madness right now, it's March Madness month. If you got a prediction, you could make a prediction. We're open to that. We're not going to talk about the Chiefs.
I was going to say, can we take a 20-second moment of silence for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? Because that was probably.
You guys do not get no moment of silence.
Moment of silence.
Bro, let me just put on my proper hat real quick.
I can tell you right now, that's probably a huge surprise. My phone didn't stop ringing during that football game, because when you're the one that talks shit to all your friends, you're the first person that everyone calls when things aren't going your way. So I earned it for sure.
No, I vividly remember seeing all of the Illicit Brands and even the Illicit Gardens, these Kansas City stickers, these hats.
Oh yeah, everywhere, bro.
And I just remember feeling a little nauseous to myself as I was engulfed in this KC gear. Now, as cool as that looks, I'm so happy that it went the way they went, and it's going to be it is going to be an exciting football season going forward. This next year with at the end of this year and into next year with you know, with Casey and Travis Kelce coming back, and overall it's an exciting time, and so it's cool to see you guys and what you guys do. Blake is a former Chief as well, correct?
No, he had
Where did he play at?
He had a little stint. He played over in Europe professionally, and he was an All-American quarterback. Played in Europe professionally.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching him.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But I just couldn't remember the team that he played for.
And then it was Northwest Missouri State in college, and then he had a little stint with the Vikings, I think, here in the U.S. And then played overseas for a while. But yeah, he's the man.
Super dope, super cool team, super cool brand that you guys have all created there. Big shout out to everybody involved with Illicit. For those of you guys watching, man, I'm Joey J. Ping. This is Jon Bond. Make sure you guys tap in Illicit Gardens, Illicit Brands. If you are in New Jersey, which is this episode is all about, be sure to stay tuned for that. If you go to a dispensary, if you buy weed anywhere, be sure to at least inquire about Illicit and check out what they've got, whether it's the strains or flower, whether it's the dabs, or not the dabs, whether it's the vapes or the gummies and chocolates and things coming forward. Just be sure to tap in, man, and just choose to support. Jon, you got anything for the people?
No, man, we're just, I say this all the time, but it's not lost on us how lucky we are to be here and be in the position we're in to be able to get the plant to the people. So we're super appreciative of it, and we're excited to continue to keep rocking with everybody, man. So appreciate you, man, and you guys supporting us for sure.
Come on, man. This episode is brought to you guys by Trees, Cannabis's best ERP software. Make sure you all tap in. E-com, analytics, point of sale, custom white glove service, just to help you guys make more money for retailers, dispensaries, deliveries. Tap in. I'm Joey J. Ping. This is Jon Bond. We will see